Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriya Nashtaprayeshu Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 11, The Perfect Society, Four Social Classes. Text number 5 onwards. Shri Narad Uvacha Natva Bhagavate Ajaya Lokanam Dharma Setve Vakshe Sanatanam Dharmam Narayanam Mukhashutam. Shri Narad Muni said, after first offering my obeisances to Lord Krishna, the protector of the religious principles of all living entities, let me explain the principles of the eternal religious system, of which I have heard from the mouth of Narayana. So Yudhishthira Maharaj asked him questions about religious principles, about the Varna and Ashram. So Narad Muni is saying, so first he paid obeisances unto Lord Krishna, and then he's going to explain the principles which he heard directly from Lord Narayan. The word Aja refers to Krishna, who explains in Bhagavad Gita, Ajo api san avyayatma. I am ever existing, and thus I never take birth. There is no change in my existence. Text 6. Yo avatiryatmano anshena dakshayanyam tu dharmata lokanam swastaye abhyaste tapo badrikashrame. Lord Narayan, along with this partial manifestation, Nara, appeared in this world through the daughter of Daksha Maharaj, known as Murti. He was begotten by Dharma Maharaj for the benefit of all living entities. Even now, he is still engaged in executing great austerities near the place known as Badrikashram. So, as Nar Narayan, he appeared through the daughter of Daksha Maharaj, known as Murti. And she was married to Dharma. And they are still executing great austerities in Badrikashram. So if Krishna permits, if we go on this trip, on the way back, we are planning to go to Radha Kund, and if time is there, I don't know. We'll go to Badrinath. Badrinath in Braj. Badrinath and Kedarnath, they're not far away from each other, and they're very close to Govardhan. Little distance, but the route is from there only. And in Braj also, in Badrinath, there are deities of Narayan. Actually, it is said that the original deities came to Braj because Krishna called everybody to Braj. So if we go to just Braj Mandal, we cover everything actually. Dharma moolam hi Bhagavan sarva vedamayo hari smritam cha tadvedam rajan anyen chatma prasidati. The Supreme Being, the personality of Godhead, is the essence of all Vedic knowledge, the root of all religious principles, and the memory of great authorities. O King Yudhishthira, this principle of religion is to be understood as evidence. On the basis of this religious principle, everything is satisfied, including one's mind, soul, and even one's body. So that is why Krishna has created this Vedic principle, a Varnashram system, so that everybody lives happily, comfortably, and engaged in the service of the Lord. It's not something impractical that Krishna is going to create, that is going to create more distress or anxiety in the mind of people in general. As stated by Yamaraj, Dharmam tu Sakshat Bhagavad Pranita. Yamaraj, the representative of the Lord, who takes care of the living beings after their death, gives his verdict as to how and when the living being will change his body. He is authority, and he says that the religious principles consist of the codes and laws given by God. No one can manufacture religion, and therefore, manufactured religious systems are rejected by the followers of the Vedic principles. So, no one can manufacture religion, means there are so many people, they say, okay, you follow this, you follow that, and this is the right religion because I have the knowledge of the scripture. Because people in Kali Yuga, they are very lazy. They don't want to study the scriptures. They don't want to find out the truth. So some Babaji comes and he says, no, this is religion, this is what we should follow, and everybody starts following that. But religious principles cannot be manufactured. Whatever is given in the scriptures, that is the right religion. That's it. And scriptures only talk about whatever is given by the Lord himself. Even Narad Muni, when Yudhishthira Maharaj asked him, he paid obeisances to Krishna, and then he said, because whatever I heard from him, I'm going to teach you. He did not manufacture anything on his own. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Vedasya sarveraham eva vedya. Vedic knowledge means to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Therefore, whether one speaks of the Vedas, scriptures, religion, or the principles of everyone's occupational duty, all of them must aim at understanding Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So if it doesn't come to whatever we are studying, whatever we are practicing, if it doesn't come to understanding Krishna, serving Krishna, then that is not the religion. That's not the proper religion. And therefore, Bhagavatam concludes, Savai Punsam Paro Dharmo. In other words, religious principles aim at learning how to render transcendental loving service to the Lord. That service must be unmotivated and unchecked by material conditions. Then human society will be happy in all respects. Otherwise, we cannot be happy. If there is fight, if there is dissatisfaction, if there is different kind of practices that doesn't really please the soul, then the society cannot be happy. The Smriti, the scriptures following the principles of Vedic knowledge, are considered the evidence of Vedic principles. There are 20 different types of scriptures for following religious principles, and among them the scriptures of Manu and Yajnavalkya are considered to be all-pervading authorities. In the Yajnavalkya Smriti, it is said, Shruti Smriti Sadachara, Swasya Cha Priyamatmana. One should learn human behavior from Shruti, the Vedas, and from Smriti, the scriptures following the Vedic principles. Srila Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu says, Shruti Smriti Purana Di Pancharatra Vitimbina. The purport is that to become a devotee, one must follow the principles laid down in Shruti and Smriti. One must follow the codes of the Puranas and Pancharatri Vidhi. One cannot be a pure devotee without following the Shruti and Smriti. And the Shruti and Smriti without devotion service cannot lead one to the perfection of life. Therefore, from all the evidence, the conclusion is that without bhakti, devotion, service, there is no question of religious principles. God is a central figure in the performance of religious principles. Almost everything going on in the world as religion is devoid of any idea of devotion service and is therefore condemned by the verdict of Srimad Bhagavatam. Without devotional service, so-called religious principles are only cheating. So sometimes people also say, oh, we want to be spiritual. We don't want to be religious. That's a common argument we hear. Religion and spiritual, they are not two separate things. It's just the so-called followers and so-called teachers. They have made religion as some part of rituals only, which which ultimately doesn't lead one to spirituality. But that's not what religion is all about. Spirituality is what we practice. Religion or religious rituals is what we show to the Lord how we love Him. So they both go hand in hand. And that's what Prabhupada says. Almost everything going on in the world as religion is devoid of any idea of devotional service. So devotional service, which is spirituality, how do we express our love, our service to the Lord? By following the rules and regulations and doing the rituals, which is not ritual actually. To serve the Lord, to cook for the Lord, to dress the Lord, to do the arti for the Lord. That's not a ritual. It's done out of love. But because it is following the rules and regulations, and that is why sometimes people have problem with it. They say, no, this is a ritual. We want to be spiritual people, no rules. Just sit down anywhere and meditate. That's without following the scriptures, we cannot make progress. This is what Rupa Goswami says. Shruti Smriti Purana Adi Pancharatri Vidim Vina Ekantiki Harer Bhakter Utpatev Kalpate. Means if we don't follow Shruti Smriti or the Vedas or the scriptures or Purana Adi Pancharatri Vidim Vina, and without following the rules in the Pancharatra system given by Narad Muni himself. Ekantiki Harer Bhakti. Ekantiki means without any rules. If we try to practice something, it's only Utpadeva Kalpate. Utpad. It's just a disturbance in the society and nothing else. That's why the scriptures are given. And we should follow the scriptures. And then Narad Muni talks about general principles to be followed by all human beings who want to make progress. Text 8 through 12. These are the qualities one should develop. Satyam daya tapaha shocham titiksheksha shamodamaha ahimsa brahmacharyam cha tyaga swadhyaya arjavam santosha samantrik seva gramye ho paramah shanah nrinam viparye heksha maunam atma vimarshanam अन्नाद्यादेह संविभागो भूतेभ्यश्च यथार्हतः देशवात्म देवता बुद्धि सुतराम नृषु पांडव श्रवणम कीर्तनम चास्य स्मरणम महताम गतेः सेवेज्या वनतीदास्यम सख्यम आत्मसमर्पणम निर्णामयम परो धर्म सर्वेषां समुदायकृतः लक्षणवान राजन सर्वात्मा येन तुष्यति. These are the general principles to be followed by all human beings. Truthfulness, mercy, austerity, observing fast on the certain days of the month, bathing twice a day, tolerance, discrimination between right and wrong, control of the mind, control of the senses, non-violence, celibacy, charity, reading of scriptures, simplicity, satisfaction, rendering service to saintly persons, gradually taking leave of unnecessary engagements. So gradually taking leave of unnecessary engagement, not getting more and more entangled. Observing the futility of the unnecessary activities of human society. Remaining silent and grave and avoiding unnecessary talk. Considering whether one is the body or the soul. Distributing food equally to all living entities, both men and animals. Seeing every soul, especially in the human form, as a part of the Supreme Lord. Hearing about the activities and instructions given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is a shelter of the saintly persons. Chanting about these activities and instructions. always remembering these activities and instructions, trying to render service, performing worship, offering obeisances, becoming a servant, becoming a friend, and surrendering one's whole self. O King Yudhishthir, these 30 qualifications must be acquired in the human form of life. Simply by acquiring these qualifications, one can satisfy the Supreme Personality of God. It's a long list, 30 qualifications. We just have to go through them, introspect how many or to what percentage we got these qualifications. But in order that human beings be distinct from the animals, the great Saint Narad recommends that every human being be educated in terms of the above mentioned 30 qualifications. Nowadays, there is propaganda everywhere, all over the world, for a secular state, a state interested only in mundane activities. But if the citizens of the state are not educated in the above mentioned good qualities, how can there be happiness? Prabhupada again and again comes to this point, and because this is stressed by Srimad Bhagavatam, Narad Muni, the Lord Himself, other Mahajans, without engaging in devotion service, one cannot be happy. As Prabhupada says, everywhere is looking for secular state. Actually, secular state doesn't mean no religion, which it has become a normal these days. No religion means atheistic state, not secular. Secular state means one should not force one's religion on anybody else or force that you cannot follow this religion, you cannot follow that religion. That is secular. But it has come down to, okay, no religion. We are free people. But without religion, without understanding our position as an eternal servant of the Lord, without bringing the Lord's presence, mercy in our lives, how can we be happy? For example, if the total populace is untruthful, how can the state be happy? Therefore, without consideration of one's belonging to a sectarian religion, so without consideration of one's belonging to a sectarian religion, whether Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, or any other sect, everyone should be taught to become truthful. Similarly, everyone should be taught to be merciful, and everyone should observe fasting on certain days of the month. Everyone should bathe twice a day, cleanse his teeth and body externally, and cleanse his mind internally by remembering the holy name of the Lord. The Lord is one, whether one is Hindu, Muslim, or Christian. Therefore, one should chant the holy name of the Lord regardless of differences in linguistic pronunciation. So as Prabhupada says, so in all actually religions or parts of faith, not religion, faith, there is mention of chanting of the holy names, especially in Kali Yuga. Even in Sikhism, it's Kali Yuga Keval Naam Adhara, Sumare Sumare Uttari Para, something like that. So chanting of the holy names is recommended in every religion. But one should just follow that properly. Also, everyone should be taught to be very careful not to discharge semen unnecessarily. It means follow brahmacharya. This is very important for all human beings. If semen is not discharged unnecessarily, one becomes extremely strong in memory, determination, activity, and the vitality of one's bodily energy. Everyone should also be taught to be simple in thought and feeling and satisfied in body and mind. These are the general qualifications of a human being. We're not even talking about a devotee. There is no question of a secular state or an ecclesiastical state. Unless one is educated in the above mentioned 30 qualities, there cannot be any peace. So to attain peace, we have to develop these qualities to a very high degree. And this is only possible if we follow properly the scriptures and the practices recommended in those scriptures. And the first quality, it says truthful. One should be truthful, mercy, austerity. That's a human being. If we don't even follow that, we are not even human beings. Ultimately, it is recommended Shravanam Kirtanam Chasya Smaranam Mahatam Gate. Everyone should become a devotee of the Lord, because by becoming a devotee of the Lord, one automatically acquires other qualities. And by becoming a devotee of the Lord, Prabhupada again quotes words from Srimad Bhagavatam, Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana. In one who has unflinching devotional service to Krishna, all the good qualities of Krishna and the demigods are consistently manifest. However, he who has no devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead has no good qualifications, because he is engaged by mental concoction in material existence, which is the external feature of the Lord. Our Krishna consciousness movement, therefore, is all embracing. Human civilization should take it very seriously and practice its principles for the peace of the world. So for the peace of the world, for the happiness in the world, one should become a devotee. And when one becomes a devotee, one develops all these qualities. But at the same time, we have to see, are we developing these qualities? And if not passively, actively, we have to try. We have to try. Am I being truthful? Am I being merciful? Am I performing austerities? Observing fast on certain days of the month, like 2 days are Ekadashi, and then whatever incarnations, appearance days, and the Acharya's disappearance or appearance days. There are plenty of fasting days given. And if we follow at least Ekadashi properly means really fasting, or really reducing our eating. There are considerations, or some things are given that, okay, you can eat this, and people really get into cooking wonderful feasts on Ekadashi. But let's try to make it very, very simple. Very simple. We can try. Okay, kids cannot follow, that is fine, but adults can. Then let's follow no cooking on Ekadashi. Try fruits and juice and milk. We all try it on Nirsala Ekadashi anyway, and nothing happens to the body. Body has plenty of fat that it can live on for one day. So if we do that, if we follow that, we'll definitely develop all these wonderful qualities, and which will make us happy. Text 13. Sanskara yatra vichinna sadvijo ajo jagatayam ijyadhyayan danani vihitani dvijanmana janu karmavadatanam kriyaschashram choditah. Those who have been reformed by the Garbhadan ceremony and other prescribed reformatory methods, performed with Vedic mantras and without interruption, and who have been approved by Lord Brahma, are Dvijas, or twice born. Such Brahmins, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, purified by their family traditions and by their behavior, should worship the Lord, study the Vedas, and give charity. In this system, they should follow the principles of the 4 ashrams: Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. So this is for the Dvijabhan, or the twice born. not for the Shudras. After giving a general list of 30 qualifications for one's behavior, Narad Muni now describes the principles of the 4 Varnas and 4 Ashrams. A human being must be trained in the above mentioned 30 qualities, otherwise he is not even a human being. Then among such qualified persons, the Varnashram process must be introduced. In the Varnashram system, the first ceremony for purification is Garbhadhan, which is performed with mantras at the time of sex for propagating a good child. One who uses sex life not for sensual pleasures, but only to beget children, according to the reformatory method, is also accepted as a brahmachari. One should not waste semen on sensual pleasure, violating the principles of Vedic life. Restraint in sex is possible, however, only when the populace is trained in the above mentioned 30 qualities. Otherwise, it is not possible. Even if one is born in a family of Dvijas or twice born, if they have not followed the reformatory process, is called a Dvijbandhu, not one of the twice born, but a friend of the twice born. So reformatory process means sanskaras. So there are different kinds of sanskar. The first one is Garbhadhan sanskar. Before the soul takes shelter of the womb of the mother, and before he is conceived, the Garbhadhan sanskar is performed, and so it purifies the womb of the mother, and so that only a pure soul comes to reside in that womb. The whole purpose of this system is to create good population. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, when women are polluted, the populace is Varna Sankar. And when the Varna Sankar population increases, the situation of the entire world becomes hellish. Therefore, all the Vedic literatures is strongly warned against creating Varna Sankar population. When there is Varna Sankar population, the people cannot be properly controlled for peace and prosperity. Regardless of great legislative assemblies, parliaments, and similar bodies. And that's why we see Kali Yuga, it's so much of Varna Sankar population, because as we have studied in the story of Kardam Muni and not Kardam, Kashyap and Diti, when they had the union at the wrong time, and even Garbhadhan was not done, and although it's Kashyap Muni, Lord Shiva, when he sees that, and then he sends those kinds of souls to come to the body of the mothers, to the womb of the mothers, which with those souls mean the whole ghosts and goblins and those kind of souls, otherwise they will not get chance to take birth. But this is Lord Shiva's issue, not our issue. So our thing is we should have good progeny, good children who are devotees. Those souls should enter the womb of the mothers, and then there will be a proper situation in the world. But the whole world, everywhere, it's Varna Sankar population happening. That is why there's so many problems all over, so many problems. So anyway, I'll stop here and see anybody has any questions or
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Just a humble request, Prabhuji, if you can announce all devotees to share their birth dates and anniversary dates to me personally, Prabhuji. Some of them have done, but many haven't done, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please everybody share with Mataji. Her hard disk crashed, so she lost the data. So we need her blessings on our special days. So please share the information with her. Personally, not on the group. Please send it to her personally. So thank you. So I guess we can stop here. So you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri
Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.